guys, and welcome to my channel. Here I talk about tarot, oracle, and all things metaphysical that I love. And today that love is going to the Gentle Tarot by Mari in the Sky, because I got this deck in a couple days ago and I've used it so much. I've really enjoyed my experience with it. So I wanted to talk about it. This is the second printing of the first edition. And from what I gather here, it's literally the same exact like cardstock and everything like that as the first printing. It's just the box is now a little bit smaller. So the guidebook fits in perfect, and the guidebook matches the same size as the cards. And I love that because everything fits in super compact, super neat. Plus it saves on paper products, so it's better for the environment. But everyone that I've heard talk about this deck has talked about the guidebook and has said so many great things about how well written it is. So I was really curious because I don't usually always read guidebooks, but because I've heard so much good stuff about it, when I got this deck in, the very first thing I did was read this guidebook from front to back. And let me tell you, it's true. It is a phenomenal guidebook. All of the passages in here are really kind, really gentle, but more importantly, it doesn't shy away from the things you need to know. So it's a perfect accompaniment to the card deck itself, and I think it's done really well. So I'm going to want to talk about more of this in a little bit because I have more to add. She makes a full-size guidebook, which I didn't get because I didn't think I liked guidebooks, but now I know I love them. So I'm going to have to look into getting the full-size guidebook, which I know is available for sale right now on the website. But yeah, I'm going to come back to this one. So the cards, I'm sure you've probably seen them before. They're really beautiful. Like, they're super nice. The production quality is really high, but I will tell you that the production quality never makes or breaks my decision on getting a deck. It just happens to be an amazing bonus because the cardstock is super nice. It's smooth. I think it's like 350 GSM. It's matte, and it feels really good in the hand. It bends too, so, it's good for shuffling. It's obviously gilded, and let me tell you, the gilding is impeccable. My deck is not in any particular order because I've been using it a bunch, like I told you, but I love the theme. So it is a nature-based deck. There's so many animals and scenery and natural elements to it. And most of the people, not all of them, but most of them are nude, like naked, not clothed. And Mari writes in the guidebook that that's intentional because she hopes it'll allow us to strip free of our reservations and expectations and just kind of like receive the messages. And I think that's so well done because it adds this really grounded feel to this deck that it just feels so good. So I think that the way that this is done is really cool because I read the traditional Rider, like the yellow box Rider-Waite Smith deck. That's my go-to deck, and I read with that card deck all the time. I always think this card's funny because I feel like those hands look like my hands. Don't ask me why, but I feel like the hands look like my hands. But anyway, I was really curious about this deck because I read with the traditional Rider-Waite Smith, the yellow box with the garish colors. Like, that's my go-to deck, and I use it every day. Now, the thing is I'm not always very gentle with myself. Like, I can be my toughest critic, and I can, sometimes when I read tarot, that kind of comes through. And so the messages that I get when I read tarot are often very to the point. They tell me what I need to know. It's matter of fact. It's a little bit like me. And so I was curious with this deck, how would I read it? How would I read, like the Fool and Stones as Pentacles and like the Two of Pentacles and things like that? The Tower, like, would my interpretations of these cards come through the same way? Would I read them the same way? And I was so surprised because this is a totally different experience for me to read with. It really is gentle, but when I lay these cards out, it forces me into a different mind space where I have to consider my thoughts, my actions, what should I change? All these things that we always think about when we do, or we usually think about when we do tarot, but this one delivers it in such a unique way for me that my preconceived ideas and interpretations of these cards are now given a fresh perspective and a fresh lens where, it's been really awesome. I think that you can get so much from the depictions alone. Of course, I've read this guidebook front to back, so I do have that basis to go off of. But even outside of the guidebook, I feel like the way that these cards are depicted have so much love poured into it that it just ignites the intuition. You can feel the Three of Cups here. You can feel the moon. You can feel all of this stuff. And it really is awesome. I think that, I don't journal very often, but I love journaling. And I think that this deck would be a phenomenal tool to journal with, because when I do my readings, specifically, these readings call for me to explore different parts of myself and find different answers that I don't know that I otherwise would have explored. So I really think that this would be a great, great, great tool to journal with. I know that she makes a smaller deck. It's a pocket and it's in a tin. And it has like the same gilding and smooth cardstock and everything. And then there's also a linen edition, which is just like on linen cardstock, but at least at the time of filming this video, I think the shipping on the linen is only like $2, and it's really affordable. So this is the full size, and I really like the full size. But the thing is I looked at this deck for a long time before getting it, because I don't have many tarot cards, oracle cards. I have like a collection that I like, but I don't really have that many. And I'm very intentional about the things I spend money on, the things I spend my time with, the things I bring into my home. And so for a really long time, I looked at this deck and wondered, could this be something that I use? Just, that kind of thing. And I'm so glad I bought it, because I didn't even know how much I would enjoy this experience, this gentle tarot experience. It really is true to its name. It's a very gentle deck, but it's a very helpful deck, a very intuitive deck. And that's why I was so excited to share it with you guys. Like I said, I've only had it for a couple days now, but I think that I'm going to do an update, maybe after I've journaled or I've had it for a month or something, because I think there's a lot of wisdom to gain. I don't use this deck on clients or my family or friends or anything like that, only because for me personally, it's a personal deck, and it ignites my thoughts and my feelings. So I wouldn't use it for other people, but for myself, I think it's so, so, so valuable. So that, and I'm really drawn to like these natural elements and these nature scenes. Like I said, I think I'm gonna definitely look into getting that bigger guidebook, because I've just enjoyed reading so much about it. I like reading anyway, so, there's that. But yeah, I think the bigger guidebook would be really great. The Suit of Stones is renamed, and the Suit of, what's the other one? Stones and Thunder. So Stones and Thunder, that is Pentacles and Swords. But other than that, everything is the same. Oh, and the Court card. So it's Root, Seed, Flower, and Harvest. So those are renamed too, but it makes sense, and it totally, totally, totally fits this deck. So I've used it a ton, but I actually haven't riffle shuffled this deck, and it's just because it's like so pretty. I don't want to mess it up, but I'm gonna have to get over that, because riffle shuffling is just the way that I shuffle. Also, like, I don't have any like decks that are so pretty, so yeah, I didn't want to mess it up, but I overhand shuffle it, and as you see, it overhands just well. I just want to pick a card to show you guys just what an excerpt from the guidebook would be like. So here we have the Three of Wands. So let me just check the guidebook for Three of Wands. All right, so for the guidebook, the Three of Wands, it says, Now that I'm on my path and the beating of my heart guides me, I make sure to rise above for the best vantage point so that my path continues to stay in alignment with who I am. There is no limit to where you can take yourself. Sometimes we get stuck on the island of our mind. At the horizon where the vision blurs into infinity, we have the freedom to imagine any reality. What do you seek? What is calling to you? Have you devised a way to get there? So, I really like that. And like I said, I mean, that invokes so much thought. Really great. So I'm really, really thankful that I was able to buy this deck and I have it part of my collection. Like you see here, it's got a pretty good shuffle for just overhanding, but I am going to have to start ruffle shuffling that because that's just my preference. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and allowing me to share this with you. It's been super awesome, super great. Oh, that guy's trying to slide. But I hope you have a lovely, beautiful day. Bye!